Hi, I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
And this is Northwest Brew Talk. Welcome to Northwest Brew Talk, the #1 podcast on Washington beer.
Woohoo!
This is episode number 60. Each and every week, we promote the Washington brewing industry by talking to those people involved in drinking Washington beer. If you like to drink Washington beer, learn about the people behind it on this show. With over 300 breweries, we try to highlight as many as possible every episode. If you're new to the show, we suggest you check out our back catalog with some great interviews and lots of Washington beer. This week we have an interview with Don Webb from Naked City, and our brew news, and lastly, local music from Radio Raheem.
If you have any comments or questions, send us an email to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com. We are on Twitter at nwbrewtalk and on Facebook at facebook.com/nwbrewtalk. If you like the show and want to support us, share our link and tell your friends on social media. It takes just a few to start a revolution. And to start the show, let's open our first beer. Three Magnets Brewing Company. Located in Olympia, open 7 days a week and family friendly.
It's always good.
Always good for us. Tonight we're drinking their 2015 Wreathing Havoc. It is an Imperial Red Rye Winter Ale.
Yes, it is almost April.
This winter warmer starts with the nose with subtle hints of berries and burnt sugar, moves to the tongue with toasted raisin and rye spice, and finishes strong with maple and pine. 9% ABV, 60 IBUs, and an untapped rating of 3.81.
Burnt sugar.
Burnt sugar. It should be interesting.
That's a smell or a flavor?
It says it starts with hints. It starts with the nose with hints of berries and burnt sugar. So it should be.
Burnt sugar.
I got a little cold going on, so my senses aren't quite what they. It's very dark.
Yes, it's very dark. It does have all kinds of.
Can definitely smell the berries. I smell it.
All kinds of flavors you can all kinds of aromas you can smell, and
Definitely taste that 9%.
Is that what it is? 9%.
9%, yeah.
Yeah, it is. There's all kinds of flavors in there that you can taste. What were some of those things? Raisins. Yeah, raisins. Like raisins and rye spices and stuff. Yeah, you can definitely taste that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I can taste the rye for sure. Definitely a winter warmer, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, we're going in the 60s this week, so it's not winter time. But we've had this one in the fridge, and it was time to use it.
Not quite that long. We haven't had it all winter.
We've had it for a month or so, but I do like the Wreathing Havoc. That's a nice picture. Almost broke your glass. Of the wreath. It's with teeth. That is a strong beer. But that was our first beer here on Northwest Brew Talk. And now on to our brew news.
Topping this week's news, a story in natureworldnews.com about climate change and beer piqued our interest. Actually, anything to do with beer usually does. Although 2015 was extremely hot and there was a drought in Washington, the country's largest hop producer, we came out okay in terms of crop yield. That might become harder to achieve year after year if the temperature continues to rise. Apparently, the use of groundwater for irrigation can result in negative taste in beer. There are some breweries that have already taken steps to help alleviate this problem by signing the Brewery Climate Declaration, including several Washington breweries. Fremont, Aslan, Red Hook, Iron Horse, Georgetown, and Justice, among many others. We will see what this year looks like, although the snowpack in the mountains is better than last year at this time.
All right, good news.
Yes.
The Washington Cask Beer Fest was held on March 19th, and the first session People's Choice winners are first place, Double Nut Cheeky Monkey by North Sound Brewing. Second place was Darkened Flocks by Cloudburst Brewing, and third place, Kentucky to Scotland by Fremont Brewing Company. The second session People's Choice winners were first place, Darkened Flocks by Cloudburst Brewing. Second place, Double Nut Cheeky Monkey by North Sound Brewing. They, as you noticed there, they swapped places. And third place, Sex Bomb Mom, looks like Bomb by Hi-Fi Brewing. There was a nice little battle there. And good, congrats to Cloudburst, their first year there.
Yeah, very cool.
And congrats to all of them, of course.
Obviously.
Culshan Brewing in Bellingham has 2 locations, and they've announced a new deal on growlers as they continue to grow and expand their distribution. They've reduced their growler price to $8 for a 64-ounce and $4.50 for a 32-ounce on their main line of beers.
Wow.
That is a great deal, and it's available every day. If you're in the area, stop by and get some very inexpensive, good beer.
Yeah, that's awesome. A lot of times those breweries run, Wednesday specials or whatever for $8.
But that's an everyday on
that
their,
is
on
a
their
good
main
deal.
beers. Oh, yeah.
This story comes from AmericanCraftBeer.com and is interesting. A recent study led by David Kraken of Indiana University is suggesting that even the slightest taste of beer can trigger a rush of chemical pleasure in the brain.
I've got some already.
The study, published in the journal Neuropsychopharmacology, suggests the feeling of pleasure that you're feeling, even before you're intoxicated, may be due to changes in your brain chemistry brought on by increased level of dopamine being released. According to the study, there is debate as whether more or less dopamine release corresponds with addiction risk. During the study, when the men tasted the beer, their brains released much higher levels of dopamine within minutes, compared to when the same test was conducted on the subjects at other times with both water and Gatorade. If you want to read the study, it's on nature.com and requires several beers just to get through. The results are interesting nonetheless.
That's right. We spoke about the new Brewing Academy program at Skagit Valley College a while back and thought we'd bring you an update. According to Lynette Bennett, the program starts on May 3rd. They have space for 20 students, but 17 spots have been filled with several more students in the process. It runs through August 12th and runs full-time 5 days a week. The program costs $4,200 plus books and will be taught by brewing professionals from the area. If you are serious about getting into the brewing field, this sounds like an exceptionally good program to get into. No-Li Brewhouse in Spokane is keeping involved in the community through some interesting programs. No-Li started a locale program that highlights a different neighborhood each month. The staff donates time in the neighborhood, and they sell special pint glasses geared to the area. During April, they will be highlighting Garland as a locale neighborhood, and brewery staff will be donating time to multiple nonprofits. There are many breweries that give away beer to nonprofits, run special events, and donate time to worthy causes, showing that the brewing community is dedicated to its own community. And that is the brew news for this week.
Welcome back to Northwest Brew Talk. If you want to submit news to Northwest Brew Talk, send us an email to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com. If you've not yet subscribed to our podcast, why not do it now? It's free, available anywhere you listen to podcasts, including iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio.
All right, now let's talk to Naked City Brewery co-founder Don Webb. We visited Don on Washington Brewery Open House Day. They were very busy, and he was kind enough to take some time out to talk with us.
Yeah, it was a great time.
When you guys decided to start this, you were home brewers, right?
Right.
And
So I'd been homebrewing for 17 years
Okay.
at that time, and then Donald had been homebrewing. My partner Donald had been homebrewing for a few years, and we met through a mutual friend and started brewing together for a couple years and decided to open Naked City. So
right.
yeah.
So what was the goal of Naked City? Did you have any? I know you both, according to what I had read, you both wanted to open a brewery.
Right. I mean, it's something that I'd wanted to do for a long time. I knew a lot of people in the beer industry, so just really enjoyed the people in the industry and the way it was very collaborative and that. And I found that even in my day job, I would go there and just think about making beer all day and then go home, on the weekends and just make beer.
Yeah.
So I always knew it's something I wanted to do. So
Right. So what kind of beer did you like to brew?
I mean, I brew. I'm a hop head, so
Okay.
I brewed a lot of IPAs, but I'd also play around with. Like the Ginger Peach Saison was one that came out of a homebrew recipe.
Oh, really?
So, just kind of having fun with different ingredients in that. But primarily, I would make a lot of pale ales and IPAs.
Okay. So when you brew, is there? You're still brewing now, right?
Right.
So when you brew, is there any certain malts, hops, things that you really like to work with?
Well, right now, I mean, we use Gambrinus ESB for our base malt for a lot of our beers, just because it's just a great base malt. It's got enough kind of backbone to hold up to a lot of hops and that sort of thing. We have been using the Skagit Valley Alba malt recently. I've got that malt in 3 beers on tap right now.
Oh yeah.
So we have our Naked City Lager, which is some of their dark Munich malt, along with the Magnificent 7 IPA, which is our anniversary IPA. We put about 25% Alba malt in there from Skagit Valley.
Okay.
And then our triple IPA has a portion of Alba malt in it as well. So.
Okay. Was that for the road show?
Yes.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
when you guys do a lot of collaborations here, right?
we do. Yeah, we did 8 last year, and we're gonna already got about 10 on the books for this year.
Really?
So, and that's another thing. This the collaborative nature of this industry. It's just fun to get together and get into other people's breweries and hang out and make beer for a day.
Right.
So, and then you get that cross promotion thing too, which is really nice. We
Right.
can help promote their brand, and they can help promote our brand, and we kind of So it's it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we met Kevin from Flying Bike, and
Right.
he was telling us about the collaboration you guys did.
Yeah, the Brewmance Golden
Yes.
Ale. Yeah, and we came up with what and he probably told you that as well, the wort line of friendship. So we actually mashed in and boiled in his brewery and knocked out across the parking lot into one of our fermenters. And
Yes.
I don't know that that's ever been done before.
Yeah.
But we're planning another one this year for Seattle Beer Week.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hoping to get even more breweries involved and get a bunch of brewers out here and just make a day out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the industry is very interesting in that there is so much collaboration and people lending ingredients to each other
Right.
and that's got to be unique in business.
Well, I think it is. Yeah, definitely. And I think what it is craft beer still has relatively has a pretty small market share overall.
Right.
So I think it's all about promoting craft beer. Along with promoting Naked City or Kevin promoting Flying Bike and that, we all want to promote craft beer.
Right.
More people drinking craft beer, I think, is better for all of us.
Yeah.
So
you were home brewing for 17 years before you started.
right.
So, what were you drinking if you went out to a pub? What would you drink then?
At that time, I mean, I lived right down the street I lived right halfway between Pike and Elysian.
Okay.
So I'd go down to Pike if I didn't feel like walking uphill, and I'd go up to Elysian if I knew I was going to have a few, and I didn't want to have to walk down, uphill coming back. So,
Yeah.
but we're fortunate that we have so many great breweries here. So and living downtown, I was able to, I'd walk up to the Six Arms pub, or I'd go to Pike, like I said, or I'd go down to Pyramid, or the folks down at Pioneer Square area and that. Getting out, it was big time. I moved here in '91, so at that time there was a place called Rose Hill Ale House. I worked on the east side, so I went to the Rose Hill Ale House Cafe. That's gone now, but Cooper's, Latona Pub. So I go to all these beer bars that were open then, and just try as many of the local craft beers as I could.
Right.
So
what do you think since that time to now, even since you've opened, which isn't that long?
Right.
I mean, what does the industry look like to you now?
I think it's very bright. I mean, we continue to grow. I mean, we're growing here. Craft beer overall is continuing to grow. I think as far as the bigger production breweries and that, I think you're going to see a little bit more competition there as people compete for tap space and shelf space and that. But I think there's I think there's room for 1,000 more brew pubs and neighborhood breweries. You know.
Yeah.
I think every neighborhood deserves its own brewery. You know,
Yeah,
so,
which is the way it used to be years ago.
Yeah, and I really like that, and that's, I love what we've done here in the community, and what Flying Bike's doing next door is we're bringing great beer to Greenwood, and Ballard is a community that breweries are going in and bringing great beer to that community,
right?
And I think that is where I see the future of craft beer, is really supporting their local communities and the people coming out and being able to have a brewery that they can call their own.
Right.
You know,
And
so.
like their local pub, but it's a brewery.
Right.
And not so much that they're looking to, get so much shelf space or tap
Exactly.
handles.
Yeah, I think it's going to be harder and harder as more and more breweries come up. There's only. That's pretty finite space, on a grocery store shelf or even in a bar. Bars have so many taps that they can rotate, Here, I've got my own built-in customer, I always have a place for my beer here.
Right.
So,
but because you're a restaurant, is that why you carry quite a few other beers too?
Well, that really started, we knew from day one when we opened Naked City we wanted to support craft beer. Mm-hmm. Also, we had a very small system, and we knew we couldn't fill all those taps ourselves initially.
Right.
So we kind of got a reputation of just having a great beer selection on top of just the one or two beers that we had when we started out here with the small system. When we initially started out, we didn't have a brewery in here at all because we had to go through this conditional use process to be able to put the brewery in here, get the zoning changed. So we had one beer on tap that I would go up to Lazy Boy every couple of weeks and brew a batch of beer. And that was the one beer we had on tap for the first year.
Nice.
When we opened, we had a 3-barrel system. So doing that, we got up to 6 once, and then we'd be back down to 4. And then we'd have 3, and then we'd have 4 again, and then we'd have 2. So it really fluctuated.
Right.
So that was kind of out of necessity, just to fill those other taps with just craft beer.
Right. So. Interesting. Yeah, I know, because we had stopped in here a few weeks ago for the first time and noticed how many beers there were from other breweries.
Yeah, and we've slowly kind of taken over a lot of those taps. Mm-hmm. Right now I have 21 house beers on tap.
Oh, really?
But I still have 13 rotating guest beers. Yeah. And then 6 ciders and 6 wines.
Wow, 6 ciders.
2 craft sodas.
Wow.
And 1 dedicated gluten-free beer handle. So we added 16 more taps for Seattle Beer Week last spring.
Really?
So,
wow.
And those were primarily to do really kind of rare beers, barrel-aged beers, and that sort of thing. So, and to be able to increase our taps, but still have enough taps that we could really support a lot of other craft brewers.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's interesting that you have that many taps of your own. Do you have? You find the tap rotation is interesting. A lot of the breweries want to get in here and.
Yeah. I think we've built a reputation here, I think, with the other breweries that I think they enjoy coming here and hanging out. And we've created a nice atmosphere for that. We try to host Seattle Beer Week. We do a lot of different nights where we'll take all of our beers off.
Oh, okay.
Just to put on, we'll have the Nano Brewers Night. So we fill all of our taps with breweries that are 3 barrels or less, capacity. We have Oregon Brewers Night, so we replace all the handles with Oregon beers. So. We do that basically just, like I said, we just want to support craft beer. And,
right.
We love when people come in here and choose to drink our beer.
Of course, yeah.
That's great. We would prefer that they drink our beer. But we also know that, there's everybody has their taste.
Right. Right.
So, to be able to provide that, we have something for everyone.
Right. So how did the collaboration start, since you do so many of them?
It really, we've always done them from day one. We do 1 or 2 a year, and they're just so much fun.
Okay.
So, and doing this, you kind of run out of ideas yourself too. So if you can get together with another brewery, it just kind of spurs those creative juices, I think. And if you can get some other people, thinking a different way, and then it helps me to grow. Usually I would ask people because you can always learn from people too, So other breweries would come in and I'd always learn something, We have 3 lagers on tap right now. Before we collaborated with Don Spencer at Silver City last year, I didn't brew lagers as a home brewer.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't experienced in brewing lagers. I learned so much from him just in that one brew session, and it gave me the confidence, because that lager took a gold medal at the Washington Beer Awards.
Oh, okay.
And we brewed it here at Naked City, and it gave me enough confidence to say, you know what, I think we should try our hand at some lagers. And now we have 3.
Oh.
Without that collaboration, I don't think we'd still be making lagers.
Right, right.
So it has that benefit as well. It's just I get to learn from these great brewers that we bring
Awesome.
in. So
Yeah, that's very cool.
yeah.
So, do you submit a lot of your beers for competition?
Not a whole lot. We've done GABF the last few years. We did World Beer Cup a couple times, then Washington Beer Awards. But for the most part, we don't. We don't have a really easy or I don't know. We can't really bottle our beers in a way that I think they would be stable enough to hold up. A lot of times you have to send these beers so early to a competition that the beer it's not going to be the same beer. By the time it gets on that tasting table as it was 2 months before when you bottled it. Washington Beer Awards is great because we bottle those beers about 2 weeks before the actual tasting or a week before the tasting, and so it's fresh and we can kind of manage that better.
Right.
But we don't bottle. We're not a packaging brewery, so when we do that, we kind of bottle them by hand and hope for the best. So we don't do a lot of outside competitions, but some of the local ones is fun.
Right.
And you get that feedback, which is important. And that's mainly why I'll do it, is just to get that feedback. So,
do you think that some breweries, that's a big deal? I mean, it's competitions. I mean, do you think that that's important for a brewery?
It can be. I mean, it just depends on what your goal is. I think people look at those awards, and it's really, and those can be an indication of, the quality of the beers they're making. And I'll tell you, if you can bottle beer and send it out to Denver, and then they taste it 2 months later and it still tastes great and you're winning awards, then that's awesome. Then you're doing something right. Right. So I think that's an indication of that. It's just what are your goals, you know? I remember talking to Fred from Laughing Dog Brewery out in Boise, and he was one year, and he's won numerous awards at JBF and that, but this was early on and he hadn't won anything, and he was kind of a little bit down in the dumps, and somebody said, you know what, see that line at your booth? That's your reward.
Exactly.
And I kind of think about that too. It's like, see these people sitting in your pub drinking your beer. That's the reward for me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
that really is people enjoying what you're brewing is almost more important than having a medal.
Right. Yeah. The medals are nice though. They're fun to look at.
Of course they are. Of course.
And they're shiny.
And it's like, hey, look what I did. But you're right. But it doesn't pay the bills as much as somebody buying the beer does.
If anything, it can be that kind of that. It kind of goes, okay, well that's justification for what I'm doing or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And it kind of says, okay, well maybe we're doing something right. Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, what if you're not working? What do you like to drink?
What do I like to drink when I'm not working? I like to sit. The other day I was actually. Usually I'm drinking beers because I'm thinking of brewing a beer, and if I haven't brewed that before, I'll go out and get those beers.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's research.
Right. Oh, it's best
so, and then a lot of times I go back and I'm trying beers that I hadn't had in a while. Can I forget about? We just brewed a Scotch ale, and so I went out and I got some Chiquera House and some McEwen's and some classic Scotch ales. Just sat down and it was so nice. I'm like, and it really changes on my mood.
Yeah.
Scotch ales tasted great that night. But no, I typically, I love a good Pilsner in the summer. I love a good IPA in the even fall or winter or even the summer. But I like to sit down with a good hearty, strong ale in the winter. So it's really, whatever my mood is. I haven't met a beer I haven't liked.
Oh, there you go. That's a good thing. So now, story is that when you and Donald first brewed together, your very first beer you won an award with.
We did, yeah. We that was our homebrew competition, and we took second place in the Northwest Regionals for National Homebrew Competition. And that was an oak-aged IPA. So, yeah, that was cool. I think we kind of submitted that just so we thought it was really good. And we said, well, let's put this in here and see how it does. And, maybe if we get some feedback, maybe they're going to say, don't open a brewery. Whatever you do, don't open a brewery.
Stay away.
So, but fortunately that wasn't the case.
Yeah,
so we moved forward and opened a brewery. So.
Yeah. So, do you guys distribute it all, keg-wise?
Just, we self-distribute right now, and we basically Western Washington, I-5 corridor between Tacoma and Bellingham.
Okay.
So, and then we'll get on the, 405 east side there, but not because we self-distribute. We kind of limited ourselves to that range.
Right.
But we're probably 120 accounts overall within between Bellingham, Tacoma, majority in the Seattle area.
Right.
But draft only right now.
So are there any styles that you haven't done that you'd be wanting to do?
Actually, we've been talking about making a Berliner Weiss here.
Oh, okay.
So that's something that I really love. I brewed once as a home brewer, and was happy with it. With the results. So I know that's becoming a more popular style. More brewers are doing it. But I think as we get into summer, that's something I want to do before summer. We have this great beer garden, and I think that'd just be the perfect beer to sit out there and drink and that. So that's one that I definitely am leaning towards doing that. We're also getting some more barrels in, so we're going to do some more. We just emptied a bunch of barrels.
Weren't there barrels over here?
There were, yeah. We just emptied them all, and so now they're all in stainless, and we're getting them carved, and we'll kind of release those. But I want to do some more barrel-aged saisons, Belgian-style blondes, that sort of thing. So we've got some more. We have wine barrels coming in.
Oh, okay.
From a local winery.
So what were the other ones? Were they bourbon, whiskey?
Mostly, we had a Belgian dark cherry beer that we. Part of it we put in wine barrels, and then part of it in Jim Beam bourbon barrels. That were second-use barrels that we got from Red Hook.
Okay.
So we've done that. I've used. I still have a rum barrel back here. So that's a Three House rum barrel that we brewed a pumpkin maple rum pumpkin beer that we put in that rum barrel. So that will be out here this year sometime.
Nice.
So a combination. We've used Woodinville whiskey barrels, Heaven Hills bourbon barrels. So
you've done a few different things.
Yeah. This I really want to do. We've done mostly darker beers in those. So I'm really excited about getting a really light kind of blonde ale or like saison, and putting that in some wine barrels. With, maybe we'll throw some Brett in there or something.
Yeah, that'd probably be really good.
Yeah.
So you also have the screening room here.
We do, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So the screening room, that space was adjacent to us. Since we moved in, it just sat vacant for a number of years, and when we kept going to our landlord and seeing, when the price is right, we'll move in there when it makes sense. It's just been a great space for us. We kind of opened that up we really didn't know how we were going to utilize it initially. Right. We thought, we just expand the restaurant and put more tables in there. Once we got into the space and started looking at it, we just thought this would be a great special event space. We built the stage. We put up the big screen, projection TV. So we do movie nights and live music. We do naked sessions once a month, we call it. So like stripped down acoustic performances. We do movies about every other month. We have one of our servers is a DJ, so now he's kind of moved on and doing that more, but he still comes back. We're doing Naked City this month.
Oh, okay.
So we'll and he mixes live music with it. So
nice.
That's a lot of fun. Yeah. Think and Drink series. We partner with Humanities Washington, so there's every other month. Kind of a town hall. They talk about current events or these hot topics and open discussions, and we get experts in, and it's moderated by usually somebody from KUOW. We partner with them. So,
nice.
So it's just been a great space, and then also private parties, and that sort of thing. So we've had a couple weddings in there.
Oh yeah.
So
So that I guess waiting for that to open up worked out for you then.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. So what? You started out with what you said, one beer on tap when you started. Now you've got 21.
Yeah.
What's the goal for Naked City?
Right now, we're looking at probably increasing. Now that we have so many taps, and we're making more beer. We expanded the brewery.
Okay.
Not our footprint because it's still pretty small, but we added some 10-barrel fermenters and 15-barrel brights. So we've tripled our capacity back there, which is why we can get some more beer. So probably the goal is to, try to get a little more, maybe expand our outside distribution a little bit. We've talked about, right now we do bottle our anniversary beer once a year. That's it. Now that we've got some bigger tanks, we've got more capacity. We're thinking about maybe going in to do some specialty beers, just some bottles, maybe do a few more bottles this year. And that we'd just basically target that we'd sell them here to go, and then maybe some of the specialty beer stores and that around. But and then hopefully we'll increase our production. We've been increasing every year. Right now we're at about 750 barrels. I think if we can increase some of our outdoor sales and we have a good summer, then the goal is to see if we can't get up to closer to 1,000 barrels. So.
Okay, very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks to Don from Naked City for taking some time to talk with us today. We appreciate that. We will be right back after a local music break from Radio Raheem.
Hey, 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 hey. These things so crazy, they often try to fade me, but they fugazi. Don't play me like an instrument. They love me, then hate me. Why try to be my friend again? Success is plenty. They envy like the king worth it. I gotta go, let's roll. Let me hit my black. On the roll, let the system blast. Whoa. City lights will break your heart in two. No one to love you. Come on, love me. No one to love you. Come on, love me. City lights will break your heart in two. No one to love you. Come on, love me. No one to love you. Come on, love me. Hey, 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 hey. Sometimes I can't concentrate. Ain't no roadblock, put a halt on the interstate. Still going, I'm building momentum. I can't stop, I learned when I was little. Felt sick, I jammed to transmit them. She said, I've seen you before. You was with Raheem, Dave Jones. Y'all's rocking out on Vimo. Never missed the episode, Steve-O. Gotta get more, let me know. Don't be a jackass like Steve-O. City lights will break your heart in two. No one to love you. Come on, love me. No one to love you. Come on, love me. City lights will break your heart in two. No one to love you. Come on, love me. No one to love you. Come on, love me. Hey, hey, hey.
That was Heartin' 2 from Radio Raheem. You can check them out at RadioRaheemBand.com. If you want to have your music played on Northwest Brew Talk, contact us today. And now, let's try another beer. Woo-hoo. This is a beer made especially for Bartell Drugs. Bartell, founded 126 years ago in Seattle. It holds the distinction of being the nation's oldest family-owned drugstore chain. To celebrate their legacy of supporting local businesses and industry, they are proud to produce this exclusive Tangerine IPA, fermented with tangerine juice and hopped with Amarillo, Citra, and Cascade. This IPA is balanced and delightfully citrusy.
And who did this?
Two Beers Brewing Company, and they're located in Seattle. Their tasting room is open Tuesday through Sunday, but for ages 21 and over only. This has 6.1% ABV, 55 IBUs, and an untapped rating of 3.82.
Oh, wow. You want to empty your glass there. There we go. This has an awesome citrus tangerine smell right at the beginning. Great head on it.
Oh, wow. You smell that tangerine right away.
Nice golden color. And it is a delicious citrus.
Wow. Strong citrus flavor. Pretty hoppy, too, obviously. It's
but you definitely get some tangerine in there. That is really nice.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It is actually really well balanced. Yeah. Really well balanced.
Yeah. Yeah. Only 55 IBUs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty low for a Northwest IPA. That's pretty low. Yeah,
you don't get, you know what it is? You don't get that super bitterness on the back end there.
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah, 6.1% though. You know what's funny is that you've got the first beer was a 3.81 and this one's a 3.82 on Untapped.
Yeah, real close. Real close.
That is flavorful.
And I think both of these beers had several different listings for them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that happens sometimes when people put up a listing.
Multiple things. I think because it's listed under one. The specific one was Bartell Drug.
Oh yeah. And then two beers.
Two beers. Yeah. It had everything listed in the title, whereas most the other ones just say two beers. Or, there's so many different ways to list it.
Yep.
I want you to get me fresh beer. You serious? Now!
This week's fresh beer is Comrade Imperial IPA from No-Li. Comrade Imperial IPA is a workhorse and true blue friend that sticks with you through thick and thin. Even when walls are put up and friendships are tested, Comrade Imperial IPA is the velvet hammer of Imperial IPAs. It features Amarillo, Eldorado, and Comet hops layered into a peace offering of delicious celebration.
Hello, Comrade. All right, and that brings us to the end of this episode of Northwest Brew Talk.
Make sure you tune in next week when we chat with Ghostfish Brewing.
Good talk. That's an excellent interview.
I'm excited for that one.
And the show is written and produced by Michelle Rizzo and myself.
If you want to contact us, feel free to email us at nwbrewtalk@gmail.com or contact us on Twitter at nwbrewtalk. Our theme music is from Gilbert Neal. You can check him out at gilbertneal.com.
Until next time, I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
Stay hoppy, my friends.
A recent study led by David Kraken. Kraken?
Let's read it.
It's Kraken. David Kraken.
Yeah, he's cracking his ass.